Hey everybody, today is March 29th, 2024. I'm Gene.
And I'm Zane.
And you're hanging with Uncle.
How's it going, man?
Good, man.
Good. Happy Easter weekend.
Yes.
Is the goal here. We
Today is
that
Good
out.
Friday.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
Good Friday today, but I want to make sure you don't forget the Easter part for those who celebrate. For those who don't, we'll have a good weekend. It's a little bit longer for you because others were celebrating something you don't. That's kind of it.
Right. And also, this whole mantra of pay yourself, the markets have really taken off and are doing
Much healthier.
much better. They're like, the Dow's almost at 40,000. And, so, as those gains go, I hope you've been paying yourself and investing in yourself and, making your money work for you.
It's a good time looking into it at the moment because when things are down, they're on sale. That's kind of how we look at it. But
Right.
we're not professionals. We're just talking about it. That's all.
That's just our
Not
philosophy.
giving you our
Right.
advice. Yes.
Dollar cost averaging.
Absolutely. You got to lower it down a little bit. Mine's
Right.
almost there. I've been working on mine. Got to. Short week. Felt long. Felt tiresome. I'm tired. I'm kind of exhausted. Been a long week. How have you been?
About the same, man. Just kind of chugging along. Just the little engine that could.
I know. Yeah, I've heard you're trying to apply for jobs and such, so good luck with that.
Thank you.
Yes, good luck. Need a lot of luck with that. So that's why I brought it up. Hopefully you guys can wish him some luck too. Yeah. Not that he needs it. It's just more like, I don't know, businesses are picky these days.
Yeah, I had an interview today for a position that's, has been a dream of mine forever because it's involving the world of golf.
Yes.
So, thoughts and prayers this time would really be appreciated.
Throw some thoughts and prayers and some good lucks out there.
And also, please hit that subscribe button.
Yes, and please hit the like button as well.
Yes.
Because we want to grow our channel.
We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers.
Absolutely. And also hit the notification bell. For wherever we go live, you would know. And also, whenever we post the live video after we're done, so you can watch it later on in the week.
Right.
Or, if you want to. Only if you want to. But don't forget, we're just your information place that we talk about things. We're not just opinions and such, whatever. We're not really your news source. You can go find that stuff on your own. Just
Right.
more like, oh, here's a topic. Let's talk about how we feel about it.
Right. And I think the topics we have today, number one, are crazy, and number two, just get crazier.
We try to keep it level here on Uncle, but sometimes things go off the rails and go unhinged. And we have to bring that unhinged content here for you guys as well.
Right.
Not afraid to talk about it either, if you have experience in the past with us.
I want to start with the subject of DEI.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite.
Because you're going to hear that a lot lately after, what happened in Baltimore and the collision with the boat with the Francis Scott Key Bridge.
To start with that first, let's start with the tragedy. Yes, the boat lost power twice while it was on its way underneath the bridge. Coasted and lost control, obviously because of power. Multiple casualties, to my understanding.
6 fatalities.
Some workers who were working on the bridge and some people who were still remaining on the bridge. Most of the Mayday calls prevented a lot of people from being on the bridge and losing more lives than we could have, which is we're entirely thankful, but we are still sad that there is still a tragedy afoot that those have lost their lives in the field alone.
Right.
So it's thoughts and prayers, of course, to them, which do mean something in these kind of situations.
But this pisses me off.
Yes.
Because the construction workers working on the bridge were of Hispanic descent, listening to Fox News and Newsmax, and I'm listening to this dumbass Matt Schlapp talking about how, if these people don't come over here basically all drugged out, I'm paraphrasing, then they wouldn't be in this position to do that. And I'm just like, you know what, dude? Kiss my ass.
You know, it wasn't even the bridge in the first place that the boat lost power.
No, so but the thing is, all right. I mean, think about the lesson in this. Okay, these guys are fixing potholes on the bridge that carry commerce and people going back and forth to work, commuting. This is a very productive bridge for the commerce of the state of Maryland and the federal government because it's a federal bridge. So there's federal money that's involved
That
with
goes
that.
into it. Okay.
And these guys are being trashed for fixing bridges that build communities, you know, and that connection between one another instead of trying to put up a wall to keep communities apart.
Is this that infrastructure? Biden's infrastructure is bad, like scapegoat approach that's happening that I've been seeing?
Well, so it's funny you mentioned that because that bridge connects Pennsylvania to Maryland, and a lot of coal goes across that bridge, and a lot of that coal comes from Pennsylvania, and so President Biden has asked Congress to work with him on getting the federal government to pay for 100% restoration of that bridge. And of course, you know, the Republican representative, Hauser, I think his name is complaining about that. You know, how dare you try and help us keep our commerce alive?
Right. That's so weird. I
Right,
don't know.
idiot.
Yeah. Basically. That's what I was that sounds really dumb. I don't know. It's just I do have a question more just like, yeah, maybe post thing that's holding the bridge up really shouldn't cause the whole thing to collapse. Like, I don't know. I just feel like maybe the bridge wasn't quite made correctly in a way. Like, beginning, maybe it was an older bridge and just needed more updates or something. Or maybe it is just a bridge that needs a better, like, infrastructure, no less just, like, how it's built. Because science and technology is different now these days. Because you know how, like, there's older buildings and newer buildings. Older buildings are higher chance of them falling over during an earthquake than newer buildings because newer buildings are built with like sway technology, right? So that's what I mean, just like updating more new things, not putting any blame on anybody, money going anywhere, blah blah blah. I don't care any of that. I'm saying it's just like it seemed pretty weak to me that like a whole entire bridge would fall over if just like one post doesn't work anymore. Like maybe it was the force of the boat hitting it, correct? But I feel like the bridge should be like remade to withstand something like that.
It felt like dominoes.
Yeah.
And it does that because it's built, one supports the other. So when one section goes, it falls like dominoes.
I don't think that's smart design for a bridge because accidents happen, correct?
I'm not an engineer.
No, but I'm not either. But what I'm saying is like just thinking about it. Like
also, you think about, man, what does the force have to be like traveling at 8 knots? That boat with
it was a shipping.
It was a cargo ship.
Yeah, it was a cargo
traveling
ship.
at 8 knots when it hit the bridge.
Understood, but just like watching it crumble so quick, you would not expect a bridge to just like crumble like that.
That's like watching Earl Campbell play against the high school football team.
Like it really was. Like it's just like your brain when you watch. I mean, movies are movies. Yes, I understand. But like visual mindset, just like a movie, a part of the bridge breaks, but the other parts are still standing and holding it up. You wouldn't expect the other parts to just crumble. You think they would all be able to stand individually on their own as a piece.
But remember, they feel the vibration.
Right, and the collision and such.
Right.
So, I mean, like, again, it's just,
and
throwing ideas out there in conversation.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not discounting it. I'm just saying, maybe
toppled.
you're right.
That shit fell.
It did.
That shit fell fast. That was scary to watch. You can see it. You can watch it. It's scary to see how fast that goes and falls. Yeah. Like, I don't know. At some point, is it like, okay, this might be old. Maybe we should remake this to be more safe. But even though nothing hasn't happened, that's ignorance to me. You know what I mean? Like, nothing like that has happened beforehand. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen ever.
Well, to me, the whole thing, blaming it on DEI, which when I say
where
DEI,
we're going to get to, yeah.
That means diversity, ethnicity, and inclusion. So basically like affirmative action. which
For
is
those who are business-oriented, diversity hire.
yeah.
Yes, the diversity hire.
So that, in other words, it's racist dog whistle talk for if white people were working on the bridge, this wouldn't have happened.
If they didn't have a black mayor, it wouldn't have happened. Stuff like that.
Right. I mean, everything is all included in it. So,
Yep.
to me, somebody wanting to use that as an excuse for this tragedy, you can go fuck all the way off.
Absolutely, which it is a tragedy. We can't we start throwing stones when we don't even know what happened to begin with. Maybe we do now again, but we don't want to give you all the information. Go find it on your own. But it's a conversation. But we just people are so quick to jump to conclusions, so quick to feel some kind of way, so quick to whatever before finding the facts around everything, before hurting each other. And it's just that's the theme of life these days. It just seems like instead of mourning about the tragedy still, and then okay, what caused this? How can we fix this? Instead of pointing fingers and I don't know, just making people feel guilty and guilt tripping people. That's just what people go through these days. I don't know.
I just think you're a pretty poor son of a bitch to use that as an excuse
To do something like
for the loss of the life of 6 people,
right? And
who
that's
were
not okay.
working, contributing to our society.
Doing a job that most people wouldn't want to do.
Right.
Anyways, we're moving on from that. I have some dumbassery to talk about, some things that are dumb, but early before a dumbass of the week, because I got 2 dumbass things today, or not today, but it's an active thing right now. But I have learned that in the state of New York, you are able to accommodate a free home on your own if you just break down the door and walk in and survive there for 30 days. It's yours. You get 30 days about 2 years for eviction because the eviction process is that long, but you survive. Congratulations, your 30 days are up. You now own a home. You don't even have to pay
Water's
for anything.
rights.
Yeah, New York is crazy. There was a video I watched the other day, a lady who literally was actively, the news was there, watching it happen, people getting arrested for squatting in a home that was hers. Okay? She changed the locks. It's hers, rightfully, right? If you had people getting into your car, you would change the locks to your car. If I had people getting in my apartment, the locks would change, blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. She changed the lock. The guy came back, who got arrested from the cops, who was squatting prior, came back, wasn't able to gain access to the home, so he called the cops on her because she evicted him early in an unfair eviction process, and she ended up getting arrested instead, and the locks were changed back in his favor. Very cool.
Yeah. And the police don't want to get involved because it's a housing authority matter, so...
It's a leasing tenant, a homeowner situation.
So, yeah, she owns the home.
$1 million home, by the way.
It was vacant because she was waiting for a tenant to rent it.
Yep. And since she was waiting, it was vacant for a tenant to rent it. Some people broke in, lived in there for X amount of days, and were allowed to live there now because they broke in and lived there for 30 days. The eviction process does take about 2 years in New York, and it is unfair and not allowed for people who own their own home, their own property, their own source of income to change locks to keep people out of it.
I think right now that that law needs to be addressed because laws should be made not to protect people who want to take advantage of
the system,
but to protect those who work and contribute to the system.
Right. And they're supposed to be proactive too. Laws are supposed to prevent things like this so it doesn't go to court. It's not court supposed to prevent laws from being broken. It's so weird. You have to go to court for this. Sorry, no law intended. That's just so weird that's the result there in New York. And instead of the law first and then go to court because they broke the law, it's court first.
Yeah.
It's so backwards. I don't know. That's so weird to me. But if check it out on your own again. You're not the only person who's having housing or trying to find housing issues ever. This person is trying to lease out a home and is having issues with it as well. But I don't know. I'm not a big protect homeowner kind of person because some homeowners can be those kind of homeowners. But it was a story that I felt like I needed to bring up because super unfair. Not a cool
extremely.
Law.
Yeah. That. And again, somebody with a law enforcement background, I look at that situation and there's no way I can walk away from that situation with the homeowner in handcuffs and feel good about myself.
That's a trespasser situation. That's trespassing, right? Like some...
Yes. You're in my home, get out. You refuse to leave. Call the police. They refuse to go. They're trespassing on my property. That was the law in California. That's how we applied it when I was a law enforcement officer there.
Stealing some verse, because I have watched so many people talk about it. Really, like, laws are supposed to prevent things from going in this direction, of course, we just said, right? But if laws are broken and then they're not enforced correctly, then people resort to vigilanteism and doing their own justice and making their own laws and doing their own thing. So that's why laws are there to be proactive and to begin with, to prevent people from doing their own actions in justice. So it's a whole back asswards, is that what they say? Situation in New York, because you can just walk into a home and live in it for 30 days and it's yours. Hey.
So I wonder, how long has that law been on the books?
Oh man, I have no idea. You can check that out.
If it's brand new, if it's something that's been around recently, then, you know, Democrats who made that a law, because right now Governor Kathy Hochul is the governor of New York.
Yep.
And before that it was Cuomo, Cuomo, one of the Cuomo guys. And it's been under Democrat control forever. So if it's a recent law, I would be very disappointed in Democrats in New York for signing something like that.
I'm gonna be honest, seeing just how, like, the baseline of how that law, what it protects and who it protects, I wouldn't be surprised it was a Democrat who put that law in order and didn't think. And just being honest, it protects certain people in a certain way and prevents police from interfering. I feel like it's very a Democrat law versus Republican law, because in Texas you could shoot them right away. Bam! Hey, get out of my house. Oh,
yeah. I would have to say that too, because I think if there were Republicans in office, they would definitely side with the business owner or the landlord and not let this happen.
Or the police would be swatted up. They'd have a full, like, gear, like, ready to go.
So yeah, I'm curious as to when this was enacted and how long it's been on the books.
We'll look that up later. We're going to leave some stuff for you guys to go search up. We do that. Yeah. We do it on purpose. Moving on. Yeah?
So there's something that I think is important to talk about.
Yes.
And that is something that I hate to talk about.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Which is fundraising.
Ooh, buddy.
Because I'm tired of hearing about, this candidate raised more money, so, you know, they're the favorite.
Yeah, but it's not Girl Scout cookies.
Right, you know, because in the long run, the person who raised more money is beholden to more people. And we're just, you know, interchanging one Lego with another one, and the problem continues. But now, because I think democracy is at stake, you know, democracy is on the ballot along with women's rights and voting rights. We need to give President Biden a Congress that will put these bills on his desk to protect a woman's right to choose and so on. But to me, I think all this, I guess, for lack of a term, trying to fearmonger us just to believe how close the polls are. I say to hell with the polls. The polls are looking at us right in the face. When I look at how much money Democrats have raised.
You're not wrong, because I feel like polls are really aimed towards a certain demographic in general. Like, it's meant towards, like, you take a poll and you were to go to the mall, what would you get more of that demographic in the mall? Younger people, basically.
Soccer moms.
You know, something like that. Yeah. So you'll have more of a younger opinion versus going to, like, the biker club and get that poll there. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, it's always biased, I feel like, polls, depending on where you do it. You have to make it super, super anonymous. I feel like polls need to have more people involved rather than less people involved to be more accurate. In my opinion.
Yeah, when I look at, like, say, a Gallup poll and, like, X amount of or percentage of Americans feel this way by Gallup poll, and 1,100 people were polled out of 38 million that live in the country.
Instead of 200 people polled this, 200, dang.
Right, so to me, I don't look at that, but this is kind of important because I want to say people are going to start realizing how Cadet Bonespurs has been stealing their money to use their money to pay for his legal
his legal fees.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's been spending over $90,000 a day for the past 6 months in lawyer fees and legal fees and things like that. And
Damn.
that's off the backs of donor money.
He's producing a Bible too. That's a lot of money, man. Where's that coming from?
But so when I look at the DNC that raised $17 million in the month of January and ended with $24 million cash on hand versus the Republican Party that raised $11 million and finished the month with $8 million cash on hand. So I think that pool of voter, that donor is drying up, and that support for MAGA, is starting to weaken and show its cracks in the armor. Or maybe just independents. People like us are like, hell no, we can't have this dude, and so we're going to throw our support behind President Biden.
I don't know. None of them got my money.
That's the poll that I think we should be paying attention to right now. And just, again, people supporting a message, people supporting wanting to have their rights protected instead of having their rights taken away from them. And that and democracy, I think those are the two big issues, and I still believe women are the driving force in this election cycle.
They're too focused on the individual races by making shoes and Bibles instead of focusing on literally half of the country, right? Like half the country is female, half the country is male, basically, right? Maybe ratio.
There's more women than men in this country.
Is there? Oh, yes. I didn't know that. But, there you go. Focus on it that way instead of breaking it down into smaller segments, because I feel like that's where they fail, too. Again, we talked about polls earlier, bigger numbers. Like, bigger numbers is better than smaller numbers. Breaking it down to different majorities like that and minorities like that is bad.
And speaking of polls, I did see a poll. I don't want to say it was done by Monmouth University, where 60% of women support President Biden and 40% want Cadet Bonespurs. So, again, that gap in that voting block is very significant and will be significant in November.
Pay attention to where the money goes.
Right?
I have a bonus topic. Can I do a bonus topic
Absolutely.
real quick? I think we got enough time. Kamala Harris said in a press conference, our meeting, open mic, clear as day, no AI, looked into it, stating that, we need to legalize marijuana. Also, Germany has officially legalized and recreationalized marijuana before us. So, number one country, here we go. We're good at that. But hopefully at some point we fix that issue, because it is an issue. We need to make sure marijuana is legal across our country.
Amen.
People are in jail for possession alone. I am a person who possesses marijuana all the time. At my home.
I'm shocked.
Safely. No way. It is crazy how much of a criminal I am. No. Again, we need to open up spaces in our jails for those who need to belong there. We need to take better care of mental illness in our country and legalize marijuana. I feel like that is the main purpose and the main focus we have in the future. I just believe that in general. I don't know.
I second that motion.
Anyways, yes, but Kamala Harris did say a quote, "We need to legalize marijuana." Yeah, she was a prosecutor beforehand, but whatever.
She gets my vote.
It was her job.
So Kamala.
So hopefully, yes, we're waiting on that. Pay yourself. Anyways, dumbass of the week. Go ahead.
All right,
first.
man. So my dumbass of the week is.
Hi, Brent.
What's up, Brent? Is whatever executive at NBC thought it was a good idea to hire Ronna Romney McDaniel as a contributor to the political news discourse on NBC. Every news anchor has spoken up about how abhorrent they feel about her hiring. And I think she lasted 2, maybe 3 days, and NBC said, okay, sorry, this ain't gonna work. We're gonna
they realized
show you the door.
Yeah,
and I think in return she sued
rightfully
for
so.
her full salary, which was $600,000, because NBC terminated her contract.
Prematurely, rightfully so. Honestly,
You know, if you make billions of dollars a year and it costs you $600,000 to realize you made a mistake,
shouldn't have hired her to begin with.
right? But that's the point. You're a dumbass for thinking that was a smart move to begin with.
Obviously not.
Right. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that, man.
Obviously not. So my dumbass of the week. I kind of forgotten what it was. Oh no, what was it? Oh, it wasn't anything too crazy, I believe. No. We talked about the stuff. I forgot, man. I totally forgot what my dumbass of the week was. It's because we changed it right away. I was going to do the New York story as the dumbass of the week story. This is what happens when we do the show. Obviously, without a script. If you haven't noticed. Yeah. Hope you all having a wonderful rest of your week. But yeah, honestly, I can't quite remember what my dumbass of the week was.
Was it Draymond?
Yes, it was Draymond Green and his ejections. It was, yes. Oh my gosh, thank you, Gene. I totally forgot. I blanked, okay? Draymond Green ejected 4 minutes into the game. Again, crushing his Golden State Warriors yet again, who are, I think, 10th right now in the West. I believe so. Suns are 8th right now. Holy shit. But, yeah, again.
And the Lakers are 9.
What a weird lineup. But the NBA final push for the playoffs is getting pretty spicy and pretty dramatic. But Draymond Green, yes. After calling a referee a pussy-ass ninja, he thought it was smart to do that. So, I don't know. I just think he's just done, and he won't be there any much longer. But Steph Curry even, visually, cried on the court about it, too. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But check our stories out. They're definitely out there. I'm Zane.
I'm Gene.
And it's been Hanging with Uncle. I'm sorry I slipped on that one. That's crazy.
Oh, that's all good, man. It's all good.
Have a wonderful weekend, guys. Happy Easter.
And remember, please be kind to one another.
And pay yourself.
And treat each other the way that you would want to be treated.
Amen. We're humans.
Right. So have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Next week on Friday.
All right.